Welcome to Die Hard. I like to say everything kind of like Vince McMahon, you know, or like Paul E. Heyman introducing someone to get that gravelly Die Hard. Episode 12 of Die Hard. Thank you guys for being here. Shout out to all the new subscribers. Very excited I'm doing this. This is weekly. If you haven't listened to the old episodes, go get in there. Listen to those episodes. Tell me your thoughts. Subscribe, rate, review, comment, argue, debate, hate, love, whatever you want to do. If you'd like to watch this podcast, go to my YouTube and subscribe. You can, there's sometimes the graphics will come up, or sometimes I'll play a video that makes no sense when you're just listening to it. I try to listen back to these so I could see, is there anything being lost that you need to see? So anyways, if you guys want to watch this podcast, go to my YouTube and subscribe to there, and all these episodes will be up there for free. What up, Ari? Ari's with us again.
What's up, man?
What up, baby boy?
Thanks for having me.
Hey, let's talk about this hat.
I don't know. I'm not. That's bad.
Why is it bad? Why is that your instinct?
It looks like Gallagher.
I think it looks cool.
I like it.
You also think Gallagher is the guy who wears that hat?
Oh,
if you guys
sure.
can't see, he's wearing kind of like this Newsies style 70s John Lennon-esque George Carlin hat, and his first thing goes to Gallagher. Gallagher was one of the millions of famous people wearing that in the 70s. Why'd you go to Gallagher first?
I'm just addicted to whatever hat that fits, because hats usually don't fit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, it fits? I'm going to wear it.
Ari tried to hit us with an M&M, like an 8 Mile. Like, if I make fun of myself first,
Yeah.
then they can't. I know it's bad. Why it's not bad?
That's
It's
my
a
whole
good
life.
hat.
I have to beat them to the punch.
You look good, dude. You look
Thanks.
really good. I wanted to compliment you. It's a cool hat. It fits your style. You've always been a old soul. And this makes you kind of, it's good. It matches you. It looks good.
Thank you, boss.
What a week, man. It's October, and I haven't shut up this whole month about how much I love October. Halloween, baseball, basketball, football in the week 5 or whatever. I'm happy. It's been great. Yesterday, I didn't do anything.
Nice.
I skipped AA. I didn't work out. I didn't do anything except watch baseball.
Hell yeah.
I woke up, I got coffee. My game was on at noon. From noon to 3, I watched that. There was some overlap in the Tigers Mariners game, which the Mariners lost, but there was a little bit of overlap where I got to watch the Cubs and the Brewers, and then there's some overlap from that with the Phillies and the Dodgers, and then there was and then in the middle of all that, I kind of screwed up that order. There was some overlap with the Yankees Blue Jays game, and I'm watching all these games sort of because you got to flip back, but then also like I just gave up on that at some point. I was like, screw it, I guess I'm just watching this game and I'll click over. A lot of baseball. My friends go, what did you do yesterday? I was at the Comedy Store at 11 p.m. and everyone's like, what'd you do today? I go, nothing. I watched baseball the whole day. It was such a great day. I feel like a fat piece of shit, but it was a great day of watching baseball in my home.
Day.
Yeah, I felt good about it because I don't normally get to, be in my own house. So it felt good. Mariners are going to a game 5. Very nervous. We're going to face Tarek Skubal. If you don't follow baseball, if you don't know the ins and outs of baseball, or maybe you follow but you don't follow the rich details, Tarek Skubal is one of the greatest pitchers in baseball currently. So we're nervous to face him in an elimination game. But anyways, enough about baseball. I've been asked why I haven't commented on the Riyadh Comedy Festival. People are saying, why haven't you commented? Like, I commented on it, made fun of it on stage like 20 times. If you came and saw me, like at the Laugh Factory or the Comedy Store locally, like I took some digs at the comedy festival and all the comics that went there. I just haven't publicly talked about it. I'm kind of surprised I hadn't put it on. My producer Mike goes, why haven't you haven't, I'm surprised you haven't talked about this. So I was like, yeah, let's talk about it. Let's get my opinions out there about this comedy festival. For those of you who don't know, I thought it was a prank by Tim Dillon. I thought he was joking.
I did too, actually. I
thought Tim was joking. He goes, I've been canceled from the Middle East Riyadh Comedy Festival. I've been unbooked. And I was like, really? I thought it was a joke,
right.
And then someone's like, no, it's real. So they did 2 weeks. It's like Coachella. They did 2 weeks of a comedy festival where some of the most famous comedians in the world made heaps of money to perform for the Saudis. And just saying it is crazy.
Yeah.
Now, all of that being said, and then now a bunch of comics, because they weren't invited, whether it's out of jealousy or political loyalty or sticking to their guns, whatever their motive is. A lot of comics are now being very vocal about how stupid they think it is that those comics went and performed for, I don't know, war criminals.
At the least.
At the least. So let's if you know nothing about it, or if you're just now kind of being introduced to the subject, here's what makes it controversial, right? You might say, why is that bad? You know, because a lot of these comics hate America. They perform for America all the time, so why wouldn't they go over? So my initial, chimp brain, I'm a pretty simple guy, everyone knows that about me, is that I'm like, well, why is it bad? Why would it be bad to go perform for them? I will say this. It's bad because the Saudis have a number, the people
9/11.
The people, well, no, because you can't put that on all the people there.
Oh,
and
sorry,
all
my
that.
bad.
But the people you're performing for are guilty of a lot of human rights violations. That's a big one. Now you might say, who cares? Well, that's fine. I actually am on the side of the comedians who went and performed for them. I say, go get it. Go get the money. Would you perform for some bad guy if they paid you enough? Sure. What's the price of your soul, right? You're just doing stand up. Who cares? There is a number. I used to have a whole podcast called Everybody's Got a Price, where we would go, all right, well, would you perform for Mussolini for $5 million? You go, yeah, $5 million. I go tell my stupid jokes. So I'm on the side of these guys. Bobby Lee came back. He was all shook. Is everyone mad at me? And I was like, the stupid people are mad at you. Cause who cares? Go get your money. Tell your jokes. You're gonna joke about a homeless kid that works at Starbucks because that's Asian. Whatever. Your joke is, yeah. Go tell that joke for these people. Who cares? Get the money. Here's why it's a little problematic. Here's my one thing. It will make certain comics look like hypocrites because they've been very preachy about things that the Saudis are also doing.
Yeah.
So that's where it's an exception. Listen, if Pete Davidson wants to go out there, go out there. Chris DiStefano, Bobby Lee, all these people, go get the bag. I get it. Whitney Cummings, you got a lot of strong opinions about the women's rights and the Me Too movement,
Yep.
women's empowerment, feminism. You're going to look like a hypocrite. Mm-hmm. I get it, Whitney. Get the money, but that's going to make you look like a little bit of a hypocrite. Jessica Kirson is a lesbian woman who is also very pro women's rights and all these different things. That's going to make you look bad. Bill Burr has a long track record of criticizing billionaires and talking all this shit about people who go perform for blood money or, oh my God, how much money do you need? You're going to perform at New Year's for Gaddafi's kids. That makes you look like a hypocrite. And people say, Jeff, well, what about, would you have gone? Yes! Yes, I would have gone. Dude, I'm sexist. They would have loved my shit. The Saudis would have been going crazy that I say, oh, Jeff Dye. That's the hope right there. That guy, he's funny. He's making fun of women. I won't look like a hypocrite if I go get that bag from them. Because I have been often very insensitive about subjects for comedic purpose. So I can go. These other comics, Santino can go. We're just doing comedy. We're traveling circus clowns, juggling and pieing people. That's what we do. The problem, this is the thing. It would be like if Kamala Harris booked me for a 1-hour event to perform for a bunch of liberal people. Now I'm going to look like a hypocrite.
Yeah.
I can't go do that gig, I can't go take money at the hip hop awards after all this shit I've talked about hip hop. I mean, I could because there's a price, but I'm going to look like a hypocrite. So that's where the problem is. Bill Burr, I mean, bro, what happened? What happened? I keep asking what happened. I'm afraid I'm going to run into him at the Comedy Store and he's going to get in my face about all this stuff. And that's just a conversation that's eventually going to happen. But Bill, we miss you. We love you. What is going on, dude? How are you defending this to yourself? Bill Burr had an article where he was like, maybe we can read it. Do you have it fresh?
The article?
Yeah, just what he said about performing. because he came back and he's defending his position about performing for the Saudis. And I'd like to read it so I don't misquote any of this stuff. But he said it was one of the top 3 things that in his life, one of the top 3 things that he's ever done. So that's one thing. But there was like a thing where I want to read what he said about performing for them. He said he doesn't give a fuck what all these phony fucking people are saying. He added, much of the fuss comes from individuals who knew little about the country or the event itself. Well, Bill, you don't know a lot about the country either, because you said, I was afraid I was going to go over there. This is me loosely quoting him. He goes, I was afraid I was going to go over there and make a bad joke. They'd cut my head off or something.
Yeah.
I was like, Bill, that's a little racist. Like the way you're perceiving the Middle East is coming off a little, because I don't think you maybe know as much about the area as you're accusing us for criticizing you for doing it do.
I didn't get that line, that next line, the factory.
What's he said?
When he's like going to the sweatshop and making the people in the factory, making them laugh. I was like, what?
We'll read it because I don't know what you're saying.
It's one thing to wear clothes made by sweatshop labor. It's quite another thing to go to the factory and make them laugh. I can't believe how much anger I had about the issue after it went viral.
He said what? You had no idea that performing there would cause so much controversy. Yes, you did. You must have known. You can't. I don't watch the news.
I just didn't get the comparison of the sweatshop. I was like, what are we talking about?
I think he's suggesting that, like, you'll wear clothes made by slaves, right? Which I've often argued as well.
Yeah, the Saudis aren't making clothes, though.
I know, yeah. I don't know. I think he's trying to say, like, yeah, I don't know what he thinks we're getting.
Like, he feels like he's liberating them, like when Billy Joel went to Russia. It's like, no, it's not that at all.
Well, another thing that I thought was interesting is, like, a lot of his synopsis about coming back was he was like, they were great. They loved the show. What? Yeah, we know, Bill.
They couldn't believe you were here.
We weren't worried you were going to bomb. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like in our minds we're like, what if they don't like Bill Burr's comedy? No one is worried that they wouldn't like your stand-up comedy. Yeah, the Royals loved the show. Everyone was happy. The people were doing the festival were thrilled. Bill, no one thought you were going to not do well.
You're very talented.
You're the greatest comic that's ever lived. We knew you were going to crush, right. Stupid. It was the political hypocrisy of going over there and taking their money. That's what you can't vent about hating billionaires and saying that a guy who killed one should be freed because they're evil, like, and then go perform and take a check from a war criminal. Like, don't you understand or are you gonna go, I don't watch the news? Is that gonna be your argument, that you don't know, you don't read about it? Bill, we love you, dude, and you're the best comic ever, but you can't, like, that's your take? I don't know whatever the big fuss is about. I think they loved it. I know they loved it, dude. How out of touch can you be? Like, it's insane to me. Play what he said about rich people performing in America, by the way.
Beyonce and Mariah Carey actually did private New Year's gigs for $1 million. Did New Year's gigs for Gaddafi's kids. Can you fucking believe that? How much fucking money do you need to make, you know? Dude. You're going to take a gig where you're going to go dance like a goddamn fucking clown for a mass murderer's kids? Then you take that fucking blood money and what he's done. Yeah, you couldn't remember that he claimed he was behind the Pan Am bombings that killed fellow Americans? The fuck is wrong with you?
The Royals loved the show. Everyone was happy. The people that were doing the festival were thrilled.
Here, that's a wrap.
Arguably, Gaddafi also aged better, too. We found out, we're like, oh, Gaddafi actually wasn't really that bad to his people, and he didn't kill all those people that they claimed that he... Which
I would love if Bill knew that. Does Bill know anything about Gaddafi in the last, 10 years? Like, does he know?
The clip aged in 2 different ways.
Yeah, it's not... It just made Bill look worse at Gaddafi.
Oopsie.
I think that's a wrap. I think it's a wrap on Bill Burr. Like, I hate to say it, but, bro, And I can learn from Bill Burr's mistakes. You know, like, I think sometimes when I was on Gutfeld or sometimes when I was doing things, I was overreaching. I think I was overstepping the things I was talking about. And I had to kind of go, let's reel it back. I'm getting carried away. I'm talking about some things I don't know all the things. Because I used to be like, you know, government in itself is just very corrupt. And then as I started to get more and more angry about everyone, you know, white privilege and BLM and all these things, it made me so much more angry that I started to identify with more one side of politics. And then that made me kind of tribal or more team oriented, like, this is my team. And because the liberals were so annoying, it kind of pushed me over into like a side. And now I'm trying to learn from Bill Burr's mistakes and go, I was talking out of my ass for a lot of that stuff. It was emotions. I was being like a woman. I was speaking with my heart and not my brain as often as I should have. But anyway, Bill, I think it's a wrap. I think it's a wrap on Bill Burr. I'm afraid to say that, but it is true. Let's talk about Netflix, dude. I've been watching a lot of Netflix. I'm a stand-up comedian. We're on the road all the time. You watch these streaming services. That's what we do. And I watched Ed Gein, this new series. It's called Monster, but it's a series about Ed Gein. And after like 6 hours, I was just in this like dark headspace of like, what the hell did I watch? Like, made my stomach hurt. I was like, what the hell? If you don't know, Ed Gein was this terrible guy. He was such a bad guy, or actually just so twisted and sick that he inspired the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He inspired some films that were made because the stories about him were just the lore was so wild. You know, him digging up bodies and him like wearing their skin and all the different things have brought
Buffalo
us.
Bill.
Yeah, Buffalo Bill. Yeah, he inspired Buffalo Bill and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's right. And so, anyways, I watched this series, and it's gross and creepy, and the actor that was in the lead, I forget his name, but he was very good. Everyone's very good. My problem with it is the reason I'm bringing it up is because the first hour, the first episode is like about how his mom was just this terrible church lady. And like he was so like afraid of her and then so like wanted her approval that like that's why he's like that. Because his mom was like just this mean, terrible church woman who thought all women were whores and everyone was a sinner. And all she wanted to do was, she was mentally abusive and verbally abusive. I'm like, dude, that isn't her fault. Like, why are we doing this? Oh, Ed Gein had to cut that lady's head off. Did you know his mom was a Christian? Like, why are we making her the bad guy? They keep having like apparitions of her throughout the movie, like to remind you like she's the one driving him to do this. At least that's how I translated it. I was like, it's so obvious that Disney wants you to hate religion. And so like Netflix wants you to hate any religion, more importantly Christianity. But like I just thought it was so strange that they just kept going to this narrative that like, well, that's why he's like that, because of his mean mommy, and like he had to murder people because his mean mommy. It's like, no, he's a sick fuck. Something went wrong. That doesn't make you murder people.
I was just looking up who wrote it and who directed it.
One of the directors is Henry Winkler's son, Max Winkler.
Oh.
Yeah, I kept seeing the name pop up, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Not all of them, though. Only like some of them his name would pop up, which I thought was strange, that they wouldn't just have a director for all of them. One funny thing is the way he chose to make Ed Gein speak. See if you can find any interviews of Ed Gein to just hear his like real speaking voice, because the lead actor, that's not his voice. That's Bill Burr's voice.
Oops.
What if that's I'm Ed Gein.
I turned those ladies into lampshades.
I took the skin off their body. What's the big deal? Oh God! Now everyone's mad at me about this. This is brutal. It's brutal. All right, here we go. Ed Gein's.
Did you work all night at that time? How'd you think you have it?
That's right.
What would you do with the sexual part?
That was in.
One was painted, they said.
Oh, that one, when they died, I just put the thing over it. Is there anything like,
Okay, now pause this. That just sounded like an old hick. Like an old man. That sounded like a very nondescript man.
Wasn't he mentally deficient?
No, I don't think so.
He wasn't?
I mean, but the lead made him speak like this. When I cut the skin off, I put paint over it, to preserve it. You're like, why is that the voice he chose? There's this old creep. I hope he's dead so he can't find this episode and sue me or something, because there was this old creep that used to go to this bar, and he would just sit at the end of the bar. Every bar has one local weirdo who just sits at the bar and flirts with the bartenders, and everyone's like, whatever, there was this one guy's name was Cecil.
Oh.
He wore a hat like you, actually, like that hat, and he was this little sweet, harmless old man. If you ask me, he's probably harmless. He looked like a drawing, like a single line drawing from a comic book of an old school man, and he would always go, "Well, what are you getting into this weekend? Are you getting into anything?" And they're like, "I don't know, Cecil. I'm gonna probably be working." He goes, "Well, then I'll see you there." He's just like this weird fucking guy, and I've never met anyone who talks like Cecil. And then Ed Gein, I watched this actor play him on the new series, and he's making him talk like that. The first thing I Googled, this is hilarious. The first thing I Googled was Ed Gein. This was in the first episode I Googled this. Retarded. That's what I wrote.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Was Ed Gein retarded? And the thing that, this is how funny Google is. Ed Gein was not intellectually disabled, but was later diagnosed with schizophrenia and found legally insane. But that makes sense. He's a murderer. And also schizophrenia is not a mental illness. It is, but it's not.
IQ of 99. That's
it's
pretty
not
high.
considered on the spectrum of a mental disability. Schizophrenia is a mental condition for sure. Don't get me wrong, but it wouldn't be considered in your son's on the spectrum. He has schizophrenia.
He's gone.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it says that psychiatric evaluation was conducted in 1957. That said that he had pretty average intelligence, but had a high IQ. Which you think would be the same thing. Gosh, I was trying to find it because now it's not coming up. But the first time I Googled it, it goes, also, retarded is not the proper... it was mad at me for searching retarded.
But at that time...
Yeah, you think... Well, and also mental retardation was a medical diagnosis. Yeah. The word retardation was not a slang for insulting people. But it's not coming up now, which is strange. But that's what it did the first time. I thought that was pretty weird. Let's move on to the reason I brought this up. I got lost in a little tangent about old Cecil Gein down at the bar. Here's the thing. Why is Netflix so gay? Everything's got to be gay.
Oh, wasn't Ed Gein transgender-ish too, potentially?
I don't know. He's tucking his wiener back and wearing
that was
women's
Buffalo
clothes.
Bill. Yeah.
But in the first opening 20 minutes of the movie, you see him with wearing his mom's bra and panties and masturbating. I just don't get why everything on Netflix is so gay. You're watching a docuseries, a scripted, I guess would that be a docuseries? What's it called when it's it's following a thing of real life, at least, a series about, real life. So there's a series about the Menendez brothers, just two kids that killed their parents, and they can't go 10 minutes without being musical montage of them at the pool, zoom in on their cocks, make sure they're wearing thongs, make sure you see their abs. I'm like, what are we doing? This is a show about two straight boys who blew their parents' head off with shotguns, and you couldn't wait 10 minutes without doing a zoom in on their butts. What are we doing? Netflix, if a thing is about a gay guy, make it about a gay guy. But the serial killers don't need abs. Why is Ed Gein kind of hot the whole series? Am I supposed to watch the entire Monster series going, maybe I'm gay? I don't know, this guy's pretty good looking. Should I be constantly questioning my sexuality just because you wanted to show me a guy cut a woman's head off? I don't understand what we're doing.
They can't help themselves.
They can't. Even Dahmer was somewhat intriguing and kind of they made him kind of interesting, and they did the whole thing with his parents too. It's because his mommy and daddy were mean to him. He had to go kill gay guys and eat them. I just don't know why they're doing that. There is nothing. Google any image of Ed Gein at any age of any situation. You will not find him look remotely attractive by anyone's imagination. He was the definition of like an old, weird-looking, redneck guy. He doesn't look hot.
No.
Yeah. And then they get an actor who's like chiseled and cool looking. He's got abs and pecs. I'm like, Ed Gein was a redneck who wasn't mentally challenged, but he looked like it. Look at his face.
Yeah, he
He's
looks
all
creepy as hell.
googly-eyed and like weird. And they got to get the guy from the motorcycle movie with the abs. I don't understand what we're doing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I just think it was so annoying.
You know who's really guilty of all this is that A24 film production company. Do you know they make all those horror movies like it's like always like white people are creepy.
I don't know what
what's
it
it
is.
called? The movies. Man, you would know immediately.
A24. Let's look at it. Oh, yes.
Heretic.
Yes.
Yeah,
their idea of what people look like is insane. Yeah, I've seen all of these, by the way. I didn't know these were all
I
A24.
hate A24.
That's funny.
Every movie, Midsommar, that's the one.
Yeah.
Okay, so every movie is just like white people are creepy.
Right.
And then what's it called? Get
That's
Out.
their big message.
Get Out is guilty of that
White
too.
people are
Jordan
evil.
Peele. Yeah,
Yeah.
white people are evil. Dude, so I went on a date with a girl. This is like a
Christians are bad.
sidetrack.
White people are bad. All bad.
I went on a date with a girl in we were somewhere like Huntington Beach, and it was just like a normal bar with like a pool table in the middle. There was 12 people in this bar, and I was like, "It's the one with John Wayne pictures on the wall." I was like, "Oh, this is such a cool bar." And we're just sitting in the back, and this girl was from like I don't know Venezuela or somewhere like that. I don't know, but she's American. She's
Sure.
been here, and then like 10 minutes in, she's like, "I'm really uncomfortable here." I go, "Why?" She goes, "All these white people are staring at me," and blah blah blah. And I was like, "What? They're not staring at us at all."
Yeah.
Like-
They're probably looking at you because you're a hot girl in a bar.
Yeah, and then, but anyway, so we left early, and on the drive home, she goes like, "My favorite movies are like Midsommar and all these things." And I go,
yeah.
"Oh,
Slowly seduced into.
yeah, you like thought that they were gonna like kill you, but
Yeah.
they didn't look at us once,
Yeah.
and I just wanted to play pool."
Yeah, it's like also like overthinking all that thing. This is why they're looking at me. Like you don't even know why they're looking at you.
Yeah.
There's no way you can mind read that kind of thing.
I hate movies like this.
Yeah, a lot of movies are like that. Like they want you to believe Christianity is the root of all evil. They want you to believe that anyone who doesn't live, some progressive way, instead of them just being harmless and invisible, which is really like you should just be indifferent to people that are living their lives however they want. Instead, they're bad. They're nefarious. They're out to get you. They hate your lifestyle. They want you dead. You're like, where did this? I don't know where this came up, but it's very, very.
And mostly, the scariest part about a guy like Ed Gein is that he was the quiet guy that
Sure.
nobody paid attention to.
There's a great part that they added in the movie when he shot a bartender at the bar with a gun in the head, and then just left the bar like it was no big deal with her body, and didn't like cover his tracks, didn't pick up the bullet shell, nothing. And the guy, one man saw his truck out front of the bar the night before, and the guy's like, well, I hope Ed doesn't get in trouble. I know he would never harm a fly. Like, there's kind of like this idea that, like, he was the quiet, meek, gentle guy who lost his mom. The cops came to his house, and he was like, do you want me to wake up Mother? And, like, to talk to you? Like, and, it's like, and they're like, no, let her rest, Eddie. We'll check back in a little while, Ed Gein. Like, it was, like, an insane idea that, like, he would never hurt.
I love his voice.
Dude, I hate his voice. Yeah, these movies are fascinating. They make some strange choices for sure. People talk about like, well, what did you watch growing up? What's better? It's like, oh, I watched Family Matters. They're like, what's that? I was like, yeah, it's just a family that mattered. They're like, what was it about? I was like, I don't know, black family. They had like an annoying neighbor. That was the whole show.
That was the whole show.
And they go, well, what else? I guess I watched Full House. I'm like, what was that about? Just a white family. I guess they had an annoying neighbor. Like it was like the whole. There wasn't much to it. There was no wiener tucking and serial killer this and undertones that religion is bad or any sort of like pro therapy message. Like I don't like everything is just so riddled with like political topics and modern like it's everything in nowadays feels so heavy. There's not anything that's really that light anymore. And even if it is light, you go, well, that is so light that it's insensitive to these heavy subjects. You go, oh my goodness.
I know, yeah.
Even the shit like we share with each other, like on like Instagram, it'll be like a girl on a podcast who's like, if you've ever wondered what like a day in the life of like an esthetician is, and then all of a sudden it just shows like some Tyrannosaurus Rex is playing guitar, going bum 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 bum, and it's just like basically the implication is like, this is dumb,
Right.
Like, let's just fucking have a cool thing, you know? Well, they're like, that's sexist, you know? Like, it's like even having something light and fluffy to laugh at is considered bad because it isn't heavy. Everything has to be so heavy, which is why I think stand-up's in such a weird position that it is that like, if I go up there and tell my real opinions about subjects, people are like, wow, that's political, right? But then if I don't, they're like, they just don't listen. They go, I don't give a shit about what the fuck he's talking about. When is he going to talk about political stuff, you know? And it better be the politics I agree with. Like, it's very strange. Strange times.
Hollywood's cooked.
Completely cooked. Yeah, I believe that for a fact. Here's an interesting thing. Sometimes names can be ruined. You know what I'm saying? Like my buddy Andrew Slater, great comedian. Check him out. Shout out to Andrew Slater, one of the best comedic writers, in my opinion, that I've ever met or known. His mom's name's Karen.
Aw.
Yeah. And 20 years ago, when I first met her, that's no problem. But as time's gone on, being a Karen is like the worst thing you can be. There's no grace for Karens, no matter what they do. You know, they are the worst thing you can be, is being a Karen. And I feel bad for Andrew's mom, because she's been a Karen for 60-something years, but, you know, now it's got a different thing. Sometimes a hurricane will ruin your name. You know, you're a nice woman named Katrina, then all of a sudden it makes a bunch of people homeless in New Orleans, and you're like, sorry, I didn't do it. They named it Katrina after me. I don't know. The hell did I do? You know, that was a hurricane. So that can ruin your name, you know? So slang can ruin your name like a Karen, and then weather can ruin your name like a Katrina. Or maybe your name's Hillary, you know, and some dumb bitch is famous for being evil and killing people, allegedly. And now you're like, but I'm not that Hillary. I'm just a Hillary. You know, it can ruin your name. Names can be ruined. Well, I'm not going to try to act like Jeff has been difficult, you know, or as difficult as a Karen or a Katrina or a Hillary. I'm not going to say that. But there was about a 1-month period where Channing Tatum in the movie 21 Jump Street, when he goes, my name is Jeff, like I had to hear that all the time. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I would roll my eyes, you know, so I was waiting for a smoothie at Air One, and I'm just sitting there. I got my headphones in. It's already like not uncomfortable, but it's already like a cool guy place, Air One. Like everyone's like kind of,
right.
You know, it's very, you know, everyone's like
Hoity-toity.
school. Yeah, yeah. It's like being in like for whatever reason. And my smoothie's ready. And the young guy that made it goes, Jeff, my name is Jeff, or whatever, however he did it. The whole place laughed. And I was just like, I'm more annoyed it got a laugh. I couldn't believe how well it did.
That's crazy.
Everyone in the smoothie place, did you hear he did the Jeff thing? And I'm just grabbing the smoothie like, you piece of shit. So it somewhat affected me in a small way. Well, Channing Tatum has a new movie coming out, and his character in the movie is Jeff. And they just posted this, which I think is great. Go ahead and play this.
Your name, Jeff?
My name is Jeff.
Have you or someone you love been forced to hear someone quote, my name's Jeff? You and anyone else named Jeff are entitled to compensation in form of 1 free ticket to see my new movie, Roofman, on opening night, October 9th, at participating Alamo Drafthouse theaters. Just be warned, my new character's name is also Jeff. Jeff. It's just Jeff. It's just Jeff, actually. It's not Jeff. Jeff.
So I love that they did this, and I love that they're acknowledging that this even happened to Jeff's. Because then I started thinking about it last night. There's not been a lot of great Jeffs.
I could think of one.
Well, Jeff Epstein,
yeah.
Terrible guy, probably still alive somewhere, sipping cocktails with Clinton's family.
That's right.
But Jeff Epstein. That's a bad Jeff. Jeffrey Dahmer.
Mm-hmm.
That I wasn't alive like during that, like in the 70s and 80s and all that stuff. But when he went to like trial and all that, I remember as a young man, people would be like, "Oh, like Jeffrey Dahmer," and I was like, "Huh?" I didn't even know I was a little kid. So, anyways, that Jeffrey Dahmer, Jeff Epstein, Jeff Bezos, people hate. He's a good guy, but like that's not a very likable Jeff. Jeff Dunham, not wildly popular in the comedy community.
Oh, I love Jeff Dunham.
You like Jeff Dunham?
Yeah.
I don't think he has the best reputation.
I like the little terrorist puppet.
Well, his
makes
little
me
racist
laugh.
puppets. Yeah, I don't
the
know,
chili
maybe,
pepper.
Yeah, I don't know how he's getting away with this. So there's that, I guess.
Jeff Goldblum, but he spells it different.
I don't like him.
Okay.
Yeah. There's Jeff Ross.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
I love Jeff Ross. So it's already hard enough for us Jeffs out here. There's not a lot of good Jeff. Jeff Hoffman, relief pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays. Old pal of mine, or not old, but a good pal of mine. So I guess there's that. Jeff, you got one back there. Mike, you popped up.
Jeff Garland, canceled comedian.
Jeff Garland, who I actually really like. Chicago
guy,
dude. Yeah, he's fucking awesome. I love Jeff Garland. So there's a good Jeff. But these are all men of a certain age. Out of everyone I just named, I'm the youngest Jeff out of all those. Actually, Jeff Hoffman's probably younger than me. But like, there's not a lot of new Jeffs coming out.
No, yeah, huh?
So it's good. I gotta really stay strong.
Dude, I played Little League with a kid at the same time as the trial, since you mentioned Dahmer.
Yeah.
Scott Peterson.
You're kidding.
At the same time, and he was
Which
the
is
pitcher.
such a generic name,
And then
Scott Peterson.
Kids were so ruthless. They'd be like, "Hey, Scott, why'd you kill your wife?" I'm like, "Oh my god."
That's amazing.
And it was the nicest kid in the world. He totally probably didn't even know what was going on.
He didn't
in
even
the
have a
news.
wife. You know, like that seems unfair.
It's so
to
unfair.
him. Yeah, well, those things kind of happen, you know, like where you figure out things based on what's going on in the news. Like, there's no reason that kid should have ever had to know who Scott Peterson was.
He probably didn't. He probably just came to school and his life was just that for the rest of
he
his
had to
life.
go home and go, Mom, Dad, who's Scott Peterson? They go, I don't know. We got to look it up.
Poor
like,
kid.
This is not
Shout
fun
out
for
to
us.
Scott Peterson. That was a great guy. He was the pitcher on our Little
That
League.
kid, yeah. Not the real,
No,
not the
not the
other
real
Scott.
guy.
Peterson. I was like, what are you
Fuck
doing?
that guy.
What are you doing, all right? So I posted a thing on Instagram that I thought was interesting. So Hot Ones has like some sort of card game or something like that. I wasn't that aware of it or whatever. But I took a photo of it. It says, "Tell us your most controversial opinion," and then I wrote underneath it, "and go." And I just thought, maybe who's gonna, if people reply, this will be kind of like an interesting one. The responses were fantastic. People wrote so many interesting things. I'm going to read some of them. Obviously, I won't say the name of the person, but just like so many fascinating, controversial opinions. Ton about the moon landing, about how like there's just no way we went to the moon, which I agree. I don't think we went. I think that was complete propaganda to like just show the Russians like, hey, America's #1. We went there first. I don't think any of that's real.
We brought a dune buggy.
Yeah, golf cart.
It makes no sense.
Or we're like golfing up there. They're hopping around. I think the more you look at it, the more of like it was the biggest lie our government's ever pulled off.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that like
on top of many other
we can't even
major
get
lies.
press conferences to go live with modern technology.
Oh
Like,
yeah, they
on
called
time.
Nixon on a rotary phone.
Yeah.
I forgot about it.
But then somehow we're able to go, we're live from the moon. What? Hey, tune in at 5. We're gonna go to the moon at 5. Like that alone is preposterous. And I never really considered it because I just think, I don't know, that's what they taught me in school. We went to the moon. My mom and dad told me we went to the moon. I remember my late grandpa being like, yeah, when I watched that on TV, it was the most incredible thing I ever saw. Like I just believed it to be a fact.
Stupid grandpa.
Well, I just believed it to be a fact. My grandpa really hated the Russians too. So it's one of those things. I didn't really ever question it, but then once you start thinking about it, like we couldn't go to the moon now. Like
Right.
we wouldn't make it. We would be riddled with tumors from the nuclear fallout of trying to get through that layer of bullshit to get out of Earth. Anyways, I believe we can send a little device, a little drone or a satellite or something almost anywhere. We've got them on Mars. But I don't think human beings have been to the moon. I really don't think
I like that
we
Russia
have.
sent a monkey.
I know, that's pretty mean. Huh? This space ape lost his goddamn life. They go, what's the problem? It's a monkey. That's mean. Don't shoot a monkey out there. Maybe that was fake too. Who knows?
Yeah.
So that was an interesting one. I got a lot of those. I got probably over 100 about the moon landing. So maybe that's not as controversial as they think. Let's find some good ones in here. Here's a controversial take from a woman. Women should not be police officers, combat and military, and maybe not even president. That was her controversial take. I'm not going to touch this one, but I like your style. that you're not afraid to think like that. That's not a popular thing to say out loud.
It's not polite to let a woman carry groceries in. Why are we letting them go to Iraq? That doesn't make any sense to me.
I do agree with that. Like, I have a joke in my act where I'm like, if you're in a log cabin, you know, up in the woods, and then like a werewolf's breaking in, you call the police. You're like, "There's a werewolf. It's breaking. It's gonna kill us." And they're like, "Don't worry, sir. We're sending 2 female officers." You're like, "What?" No.
Don't do that.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Send 2 of the biggest giant ogre men you have with
Right.
as many guns as you can get put in their hands. So I thought that was funny. One of them was about how I'm trying to find more of these. We should defend professors. Sorry, we should defund professors until they get reformed, like the left did to the police.
Just
That's
close
one.
the colleges
That's
altogether.
one. One said we should bring back mental asylums.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's not even controversial.
That's good. What is your most controversial take?
Oh, I can't say. We'd have to.
Really?
Yeah, we'd have to.
So
go
you
to,
have an opinion.
We'd have to move to Rumble right now.
So you have an opinion that is so wild
I don't
that
even
you're
think it's
afraid
that
to say it
wild.
out loud.
No, I don't even think it's that crazy.
Oh, you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think my most controversial one is that there are too many people pretending that they're on the spectrum so they can act like assholes. Or some people on the spectrum are assholes. I think that might be the most controversial part. It's like, I don't believe that you get to go, "Hey man, put up with all of my bullshit because I'm on the spectrum." I don't like it.
Yeah.
So I guess the controversial take is there's a lot of people on the spectrum I don't like being around. That's my controversial take. Like, I find them to be annoying, and I feel like they're fucking with me.
It's the asshole card.
It is. It's like they're allowed to.
Yeah.
There's some multiple comics who have been like, "Well, Jeff, I'm on the spectrum." I go, "But I don't like this.
Right.
I don't like the way we're conversing. I don't like the way you fuck with me. I don't like the way you're like, it's like you're always doing a gag with me. Like, I don't like it." And I think that's pretty controversial. If they are truly on the spectrum,
Right.
that's a pretty insensitive take, I guess. Let me see if I can find another one. There was so many good ones, and now that we're on the podcast, I can't find them. I should have found them. Most problems in the world, this is someone's controversial take, most problems in the world come from an absent or poor relationship with God, who is the truth, the way, and the life. Well, guess what? I don't think that's controversial at all. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. I love that. Anyways, I really love that this like made so many people send things to me about, like, you know, pretty wild takes to just be like, "Hey, here's what I think," you know, and surprisingly not as like naughty as I thought it would be. Everything was
interesting.
just kind of like, I think that the vaccines and COVID and all that stuff was a social like contagion. Like, they believe that, like, things like that. And then after you read it and you say it out loud, you go, "It's not that wild." But it is cool that there is this people, every human you know has something that they're kind of afraid to share with the public. And it really shows that maybe we aren't as all robotic as we think. Maybe we're not all just lapping up CNN and Fox News. People are thinking for themselves. There's just this social fear to say it. You know,
You have to like whisper it.
Yeah, or you have to tell your buddy at a bar,
Right.
you know, over a drink, like, "Hey, you know this, you know the Jews."
Whoa. Hello.
Well, I'm saying as a character, you know?
Oh, yeah.
As a character. I love you guys. I love you, Ari. Thanks for being a part of
Love
this
you, man.
today. You got any comedy coming up, bud?
Just normal open mic shows.
Nice. Well, we got to get you on some shows with me soon.
Yes, sir.
Bring up jeffdye.com. This weekend, I don't know if this will be up in time. It will not. So let's just skip right to the next. So by the time this is airing this week, I will be in New York City recording the Greg Gutfeld Show, and I'll be at The Stand on October 15th. If you saw me last time, I'm doing a completely different hour, so come see me again at The Stand. You'll see a whole new hour. Then I'm going to Boca Raton, Florida on the 16th at the Boca Black Box. Still some tickets available for that. Then October 17th, 18th, and 19th, I'm at Off the Hook Comedy Club in Naples, Florida. Very excited about those shows because I love that club. I love that area, and I just love being in Florida. Then October 24th and 25th, I'm at the Punchline in Atlanta. Great venue. They got great pie. They sell pies. It's like a little diner, and that's in Atlanta, Georgia.
Ooh, nice.
It's going to be good. Then October 30th, the day before Halloween, All Hallows Eve, Comedy and Magic Club in Hermosa Beach. Then November 6th to 8th, I'm at the Comedy Works South in Greenwood Village. Then the rest you can just go to jeffdye.com and see. I'm coming to Australia. I'll be doing Joe Rogan's podcast on November 11th to promote this podcast, but also just come listen to me and Joe chop it up for a few hours. And then I'll be doing Kill Tony that week. I'll be doing the usual kind of spots, Lauren Compton's first date, which will be my third date. Things are getting pretty serious, you know. And then right after Joe Rogan's, I go to Australia, which I'm super pumped about. Yeah, I've never been there. I don't know what to expect. If you're Australian, or if you're going to be around in any of those places, hit me up. I don't know what to do or what I should see. And I got no one to hang out with. So if you want to hang out with me, come check out a show.
You're doing Skankfest, too.
Oh, yeah, Skankfest in New Orleans, which will be fun. November's going to be an exciting month for sure. You coming with me to that or you can't? You got to think.
Can't.
Yeah, what happened?
I'm doing Reno.
Oh, Reno with
Darren Carter, the party starter.
The party starter. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Rate, review, subscribe, share this with a friend, share it with an enemy. We love you.